Keep walking, Jake said. Where are we going? Dry leaves crackled under my flip-flops. Shh, just keep walking straight ahead. You'll see. He kept his hand on the small of my back and nudged me forward. The cool breeze provided a welcome relief from New York City's relentless summer heat. I coughed and stopped walking. I'll see? Given that I'm wearing a blindfold, that seems unlikely. He laughed. I bet I could offer you $1 million to stay quiet for 5 minutes and you wouldn't be able to do it. Maybe even 2 million. I didn't reply. I just kept walking. Am I wrong? He asked. I stayed silent. You know I'm right. It's killing you not to speak right now. I bit my lip. Then I caved. I could do it. I half muttered, half coughed the words. He laughed again. I think I've just proved my point. Okay, stop walking. We're here. He placed his hands gently on my shoulders and turned me to the right. We're where? We're here. Let me help you with that. He removed my blindfold, and I blinked a few times. As the light flooded into my eyes, my surroundings began to take shape. We were standing in a secluded dell, loosely framed by a bright circle of flowering dogwood trees, the grass warm and lush beneath our feet. It was a Saturday afternoon in July, so I knew the park must be packed. But somehow Jake had found a private nook right in the heart of it. Are you sure we're in Central Park? The crazy crowded one in the middle of New York City? I peered up at the buildings dotting the familiar Manhattan skyline beyond the pink flowering tree branches. He nodded. Yes, ma'am. As if on cue, a few birds chirped overhead. But where is everybody? He took off his backpack and removed a blanket. I came across this spot when I was walking through the park a few weeks ago, and I thought it looked like the ideal place for a picnic. A pretty sweet discovery, don't you think? He shook out the blanket and laid it on the grass. I smiled. It's gorgeous, Jake. Magical, even. I didn't think privacy was possible in Central Park ever, much less on a Saturday in the dog days of summer. He handed me a deli sandwich and a bottle of water, then looked up at the sky. I thought of you as soon as I saw it. Makes me feel like we're on a movie set. I pointed at him. Try to remember that when winter hits. You might be cursing me then. Will do. Jake had moved from Atlanta about 6 months earlier to take a job as head physical therapist for the Brooklyn Nets, and to be closer to me. Sigh. I still couldn't believe my luck. Not only did he make me laugh, but he always knew where I'd left my phone and never forgot to order my coffee with extra cream and sugar. It didn't hurt that he was make-me-swoon handsome to boot. Even after all this time, I still found myself feeling a little giddy when I looked at him. I unwrapped my sandwich, which I knew would be carved turkey and Swiss on Dutch crunch with no pickles and extra honey mustard, my favorite. Jake always remembered my favorite everything. Don't worry, if you get too cold when it starts to snow, I'll keep you warm. I gave him a playful smile. I expected him to tease me back, but he didn't, so I shrugged and took a huge bite of my sandwich. Shelter, food, and water, he said as I chomped. I looked over at him, my mouth full. Shelter, food, and water. He gestured to the trees framing our private glade, then at the picnic spread before us and the water bottle in his hand. That's all you need to survive in the world, right? Isn't that what they always taught us when we were kids? I squinted at him as I swallowed. Come again? He shrugged. Just thinking back to my Boy Scout days. It was all so simple when we were kids, wasn't it? Tell me about it. I remember being absolutely consumed the summer before my sophomore year in high school with, I kid you not, whether or not to grow out my bangs. My bangs, please. He leaned over and brushed a loose